For the third time in 10 minutes, Captain Jackson Peck read the computer printout of weather conditions between Washington's Dulles International Airport and Los Angeles. The message hadn't changed. This would be a rough flight from takeoff to landing. Peck passed the half-sheet of computer paper across the triple throttles of the Sexton 811 to First Officer Jeremy Dodds, who was finishing a stack of pre-flight paperwork. With the exception of a few spring storms along the Gulf and in the Midwest, the nation was dominated by fair weather. But the accompanying high-pressure domes sitting over Ohio and Nebraska were unusually steep, and the spring winds spilling off the invisible pressure peaks were brutal fuel eaters. Almost all the way from the east coast to the Rockies, winds above 23,000 feet were tearing out of the west and southwest at speeds exceeding 130 knots. Those headwinds, coupled with the inevitable traffic delays over Los Angeles, would mean significantly more time in the air than scheduled for Consolidated Pacific Flight 1117. "We need new fuel data, Jeremy," Peck ordered. "It's breezy up top today." Carson grunted in understanding and began to figure to the nearest pound how much extra Jet A it would take to move 275 tons of airliner, 53,000 pounds of passengers, and 26,000 pounds of baggage and freight, plus the fuel itself, from Washington to Los Angeles against 130-knot headwinds. They would need enough additional fuel to divert to Long Beach, if something prevented a landing at LAX, and still touch down with 45 minutes of fuel to spare, as Federal Aviation Administration regulations required. There were reports of airlines offering bonuses to crews to fly with less than the FAA-mandated reserve. For economy reasons, it burns fuel to carry fuel. But Consolidated Pacific wasn't one of those airlines, and Jackson Peck was a rulebook pilot. As commander of Flight 1117, he had authority to load more fuel, and he ordered the ground crew to get to it. He had no choice, really. He'd filed a flight plan for 39,000 feet, and there was no alternative that would reduce headwinds and fuel consumption unless he went below 23,000 feet, which wasn't practical. The fuel saved with lighter headwinds would be eaten up by denser atmosphere. Chief Cabin Steward Frank Maselli materialized at the open cockpit door. "The SOBs are ready to board," he announced. Peck shook his head. "Hold 'em up, Frank. We're going to pump a little more gas." "Right," Maselli replied with practiced cheerfulness. "One order of fuel. Hold the SOBs. What, 20 minutes?" "That should do it," Peck replied. Maselli stepped through the aircraft's forward door into the mouth of the telescoped passageway that linked the 811 to Dulles's squat gray midfield terminal.